Today we are bringing you to St. Maarten. A little history on St. Maarten. It is the smallest island inhabited by two different countries. So half of it is owned by France and the other half is owned by the Netherlands. We docked in Philipsburg, which is on the Dutch side, and all large cruise ships will dock on that side. It is so far the prettiest place we've visited as of yet. It was absolutely stunning. There were lush green mountains that went all the way down to that crystal clear turquoise water, and it was just stunning. If I did nothing else but sit on the boat and look at it, I would be happy. It was absolutely beautiful. As far as the port accessibility, right near the ship, everything was very accessible. It was very flat. The walkways and the ramps and everything were great. There were public restrooms that I believe were flat that you could get into. Now, before I go anywhere, I like to kind of get a sense of what I'm getting into as far as accessibility and what to expect. And so, through all of my previous, research of reading blogs of people who have been there, everything has said that there were no accessible taxis or water taxis that take you from the port into town. And so when we got off the ship, we really didn't even bother looking for one. We just walked into town. It's about a mile walk from the ship to the main tourist section of town. And it is a sidewalk all the way through. I didn't have any problems with it. There were curb cuts, didn't have any problems. The ramps were fine, all of that. However, when we got into town, we looked on one of the docks where the taxis are, and there was a sign, and there is now accessible water taxis. And so on our way back to the ship, we did take a water taxi just to check it out. And it was really nice. They had these rolled up metal ramps that had several different hinges on them, so that when they unrolled them and hooked them to the dock and rolled them onto the ship, it would move with the ship bobbing up and down in the water. And it was never too steep. They were long enough for it to not be too steep. You'll see in some of the clips we tried to get some. There was a lady on a scooter who was very determined to get onto the taxi before anyone else. And so when they rolled out the ramp to get me off the boat, she took it upon herself to zoom pretty fast, nearly knocking over Jessica, trying to get to the ramp. But turns out she had to wait for me to get off because it was for me first. So you'll see portions of the clips that we tried to get, but it was accessible, and it wasn't too steep, and it didn't seem scary or anything, so it should be fine for you to take to and from the port. I think it was $5 for a one-way trip, and then you could do a $7 round-trip band if you wanted to do that. Now, while we were in town, we stayed mostly on Front Street and then the boardwalk, and in those areas, I'd say it was about 50-50 in terms of shop and restaurant accessibility. So about half of them you could get into with no problem, and then the other half had at least one step to get into them, if not more, including public restrooms that I saw as well going onto the dock. They had a pretty big step going even just to get into the bathroom, so something to think about with there. Now, while on the boardwalk, it runs right down the beach, so right beside the beach, and it turns out that at least a portion of the beach is quite accessible. This is one of 3 beaches I have ever been able to actually be on, so not be on a pier looking down or be on a Moby mat, but actually be on the sand, which was pretty great, I have to say. You couldn't go all the way down. It did start to get kind of soft, and didn't want to get stuck, so I did end up having to get back onto the boardwalk, the walkway there beside it, but still, I got on the beach. And if you are a beach person and you do want to, just hang out on the beach, it was really pretty. They were selling I think there was $20 for a beach chair, an umbrella, and 5 drinks. So if that's your thing, they got you covered. Now, all in all, I think that this was, so far, it's been our favorite place that we've visited. Not because of its accessibility, of course. Most of it was just shopping of what we could do from the ship without having, a taxi to take us around or having a tour. We definitely want to go back, and when and if we go back, we will be taking a tour, if not just taking a trip to St. Maarten and staying for a few days. I did find some accessible tour companies that offer tours at St. Maarten. We didn't take it this time, but I will link all of that information down below if you are interested in it. If it's something that, when you take trips, if you want to for sure have a tour, the information will be there for you, and it'll be linked right down below. I hope this was helpful to you in some way and that you enjoyed it, and we will see you in our next video when we will be taking you to Puerto Rico. Bye!